Hello, everyone. And yeah, I'm Gary Holcomb. I'm representing SensorLink today. And I just want to thank you all for this opportunity. Next slide. So we have a vision, and it's based on the changes that are occurring in the world. And we want to aid the electric utilities in protecting their revenue and adapting to new market demands. And they have a serious challenge ahead of them. Next slide, please. The challenge we have identified as the one to create an opportunity from, as stated in the research by Z Prime, is 90%, over the next 5 years, 90% of the utilities will have integrated renewables, but 2/3 are dissatisfied with their grid measurement data quality. I've also listed some of the integrated renewables that play a big role here in the changes that are going to occur for the utilities. Next slide, please. So let's put some dollars to the challenge. Just overall, it's estimated that it will cost the utilities up to $1 trillion to update the distribution grid for solar and electric vehicles alone. Next slide, please. So what is the need we want to resolve? We want to get, I see the slide slid in there. Those are some questions that the utilities are going to have to deal with: where to begin, how to know where to update, and what needs to be updated. Next slide, please. So what is the need we want to resolve? We want to get the utilities the data they need to substantiate their plans, and being able to do that in a very pointed way. Next slide, please. So our solution, and we realize it's just a starting solution for the utilities, is to monitor distribution transformers. And our approach is using a low-profile sensor to provide data at the source and to make key planning decisions for overload prevention, theft detection, and power quality. Next slide, please. Our core technology allows us to do this, and it starts with our Rogowski coil. A Rogowski coil, which measures current, allows for a wide bandwidth, cannot be saturated, and is very accurate. Next slide, please. And based on our research and expertise, we designed this sensor to be live lined installed within 5 minutes, weighs less than 1.5 pounds, and is difficult to visually detect from any distance. Next slide, please. The final piece of our core technology is the electronics, which is our measurement board, and we've created some room for integration with third-party technologies as well. Next slide, please. So the final product coming together is called the TMS XT, and it takes our core technology along with cellular communication for transmitting data, with options of simple software retrieval or integration with enterprise solutions. Next slide, please. Market potential is based on the number of existing transformers to be monitored in areas where the DERs will be installed. So based on potential gigawatts to be installed by 2025, it is estimated to be about 2.3 million transformers could be monitored for upgrades to happen. Next slide, please. So SensorLink, well, we have the sensor, the technology, and what we're looking for are technology partners to integrate communications, to develop a way to make the data get to multiple data platforms, and some simple software. We're also asking up to $1 million to be used for finalizing the development, releasing the manufacturing, and commercializing the product worldwide. Next slide, please. We have worked with companies in the past in developments. These are a list of some of them. Next slide, please. There is some competition. A couple of the products, the Grid 2020 and the AGI LV node, are two types of systems that go on to existing transformers, though one is put on a transformer itself, the other on a pole, and very highly invisible, very visible, and time consuming. Next slide, please. So our advantage, price is going to be important because the utilities will spend money. We're going to need to spend money to wisely spend a lot more money. And our ability to be accurate with discrete sensor, as well as combine the cost of our installation and the per unit cost, is going to be much less than our competitions. And we also have the ability to partner with other integrations. Next slide, please. Just a little bit more on SensorLink. We sell throughout the world using distributors and manufacturers reps. And this map just shows where we've sold to throughout the world. Next slide. We have over 42,000 units of our flagship product, the AmpStick, as well as other products that we sold into 83 countries. Next slide, please. We have an incredible team made up of engineers and marketing and VP of operations. We've brought products into production and released it throughout the world. And they're all done here in Ferndale, Washington. Next slide. Thank you very much for your time. And I'm open to questions.
Great, let's start with Lydia.
Thanks, Gary. So quick question on question about basically understanding, is this something that the utilities already have a budget for and you're taking up some of the existing budget? Like, is it RFQs or RFPs that you're winning that they're already putting in the market and you're winning against other competitors? Kind of how is the process of winning those utility contracts?
Yeah, right now, this is probably falling under the line of less RFQs right now and more in line with operations. And at least starting out there, we're foreseeing it going to more RFQs possibly as they start building out some of these upgrades. But that's a great question, Lydia. Right now, we're not seeing them in RFQs, no.
Awesome. Any other questions for Gary? If not, I have one. I'll start with mine. If any other questions come up. Gary, you're selling across the world, right? So where's your biggest need if you're able to access that level of a global network? Well, what do you want to do further business-wise?
Could you repeat that? You kind of broke up. I apologize.
Yeah, sure. I'm saying it looks like you're distributing across the world, right? Really incredible. That was an incredible slide that you shared with us. What are you looking to do business-wise at this point, considering you've developed a pretty robust network?
Yeah, so we want to utilize in our sensor technology. And we feel there's such an amazing need throughout the world and all the studies done with the utilities that our sensor can be such a great tool for the utilities to use to get the data they need. And so we want to build out our sensor technology, integrate it with other companies' technologies and softwares to get them the data they need to make decisions throughout the world. And so, Asia is a great market for this product. Central South America is another one that is just really booming for needing data to manage their distribution transformers as well as their systems.
Awesome. Thank you. You have a question?
Yes, please. You are Weiser from Next Gear Ventures. Are you selling only the hardware product, or is it only also services on top of that, added services, etc.?
Right now, it's just the hardware. That pricing was just the hardware. The services we would love to partner with some people on, and the services also can be the utility themselves if we are able to create some APIs to bring the data back into a utilities system, data management systems, and what they have in place.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so if there are no more questions for Gary, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.
Problem.